Okay, we're back again. Uh, First off, let me apologize for that segment on winding that 9-to-1 UnUn that you see down on the bench here. It turned out to be as much of a shadow puppet show as a winding, but we uh, I think we obtained our objective. We showed that it's not a difficult proposition to wind a 9-to-1 UnUn unless you select materials that are going to make it tough on you, as I did, particularly in that Romex 14 gauge solid copper wire. But be that as it may, uh, I'm pretty happy right now because what we did is we did a very close inspection of the windings to be sure that they did in fact stay in line. Nobody jumped the track uh, as we were doing the winding there. The A1, B1, C1 wire stayed in sequence with the A2, B2, and C2 wire, and we confirmed that after checking the tracking through the toroid, the 9 coils through the toroid. We confirmed that by use of a voltmeter, or a VOM, excuse me, an ohm meter to check for continuity between the proper wires. So happiness abounds here. That looks good. What we did do after that is we did proceed to do some of the intermediate connections here. The two in mind were the C1, which is the end of that set that came from the bottom, to the, from the B1 that came from the middle of that top set down to the A wire of the bottom set. We stripped those wires appropriately. We scraped the enamel off the wires, and then we soldered them, crimped them, and soldered them together with kind of the old lineman's loop and hook arrangement, and then soldered them. So that one looks very good. We then proceeded then to cut the B2 wire down to size, strip that, cleaned its end up, scraped the enamel off, and put the hook in, and then scraped a piece of the insulation off from the middle of this C1 line that will go to the coax connector, the PL259, and we cleaned that up as well and made that solder connection. So we have UnUn. Happy about that. Very happy about that. Trust me, if I can do it, pretty much anybody can do it. Like I said, this was an attempt to show that someone who doesn't know what the heck he's doing can figure out what the heck he's doing. And I think we succeeded in that. What we will do now is we'll wait until we get our box in. When we do get the box in, we will do the proper drillings to run a stud through the side or through one wall of the panel to provide a connection to the 450 ohm wire, which will go up, 450 ohm ladder line, which will go up to the antenna. We will also install PL259 and connect the ground to everything there as well. So happiness abounds here. Happiness abounds. Once we get that thing put together, we will, and we have our antenna analyzer, we'll put a 450 ohm resistor across this ground and this 450 ohm connection, and run a signal into there, and make sure that we do have a decent flat line, or a reasonably flat line from 1 to 30 megahertz using the antenna analyzer. So I think it's been a good afternoon here. A good afternoon to learn how to wind an UnUn, how to put it together, and we'll get to do some experimenting. So until we get that panel in place and get to put this bad boy in there and test it out, this is Chris, KD9CLH, clear.